There we go.
There he is.
All
Okay.
right. Time totally got away from me. I did not realize we were so close to the top of the hour. So my
That's
apologies.
why I came to get you.
Yes, thank you. All right. Let's see. Quickly get my bearings here. Don't care about ES on the right now. Just looking at the left. I'll explain. I've got some crazy stuff going on today. I'll explain momentarily. Right now, possible to the downside. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and take it. And there it is. Just go ahead and protect in case. ER down at the bottom. Are we going to push lower? Think so. Yep. Okay, I like the UB. Keep pushing. There we go. Oh, beautiful. All right, great. I'm out. So that was a quick 10 ticks. Now, here's the fun part. Here's what I was going to explain. Sorry, my heart is racing.
Deep breath. Real quick, reminder on price points.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Verbally,
thank you. Yeah, I was. All right. My heart is pounding right now because I was in such a panic realizing I had like 20 seconds to get the room open and get in here and get ready. And wow. Yeah. Okay. So here's what I have going on. Did it work? Here's the question. Did it work?
You're testing a copier?
I am testing my copier, and I forgot to reset all my copy account data before. It's running in sim because I wasn't about to test anything, risk anything real. But now my data is all squirrely because I forgot to reset it ahead of time because I was in such a panic to get in here. So let's take a peek here.
Take a deep breath, grab a cat.
Yeah, really. Okay, so we got all symbols, sim, all accounts today. Let's just go from, well, actually, no, midnight won't work. What time zone am I in on this? I think I'm in local time zone. So if I go 6, come on. Does that not? Oh, I got a tab. There we go. Okay, that's obviously not accurate. I took one trade, so that isn't right. Must remember to clear data before beginning a new test. Okay, there's my trade. 8. Oh, so it is 8. Okay, so it's on central. Okay, great. So if I do this, it should be, there we go. Okay, now what happened? All accounts. That's weird. I'm not seeing all accounts. I'm not on flat to flat. We're on today.
Remember, you're only the first segment here, first half hour.
Yep. And I already got my trade for today, so I'm not pushing any further here. I'm just going to explore what happened with my copier test, which is somehow escaping me. Let's look at my other sims directly. Let's go to like sim. What accounts are these? This is oil. Oh, I'm looking at ES for starters. I'm looking at the wrong wrong trade windows. They didn't work, and I know why. I think because I forgot CL. No, that's enabled. Okay. Oh, no, that's right too. Hang on. Auto trading is enabled. I did do that this morning. That's right. I remember that. That's peculiar. Okay, let's try something here. Let's see what happens. Let me just get this, actually put it over here. What happens if I throw on an order? It doesn't copy. Well, there you go. That would do it. I was testing on ES this morning. I didn't actually test CL. Okay, who's preventing it from working? I'm sure it's something.
This is almost as good as like watching Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
How many people in the room have seen that movie?
Auto trading enabled for chart JVC.
It is. Yep, that was the first thing I just went and checked, and I fixed that. I changed that this morning.
And the British Peanut Gallery is here too.
Exactly. It's probably something because I did all my testing this morning up to the minute of the room opening in ES. And then I realized, oh, wait, first setup is CL. Quick, turn on CL. And I'm sure I missed something somewhere. In fact, is it? Yep, that's what it is. My master sheet name is not CopyMaster ES, it's CopyMaster CL. And I forgot.
Always have to get your master sheet correct.
Yes, get your sheet right. Get your sheet together.
Sheet right. Yeah.
Always get your sheet together.
So I've been rewatching Downton Abbey. This is kind of directed
rewatching as in you watched it before.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's a long. There's like 7 seasons or something. But and I just keep thinking of Lee.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, the Earl of Emoji.
Does that make you the Earl of Sandwich? Is that it?
I think I'm Lord Scalper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not working either. Interesting. What have I overlooked?
So JVC's going to debug his spreadsheet this morning. Lee, do you want to do some live trading?
Not on CL, no.
Yeah. So this is interesting.
Schedule.
Yeah. So take a look at this. So, obviously I grabbed a short and it was nice and great and whatever, worked out. But see, now look, it ain't a short no more. You cannot get married to stuff like that. I just
particularly in oil. Yeah. It's been up a whole lot more. It was up almost 5% earlier, and now it's only up 2.6%. So these are just huge moves.
I literally, because I was so last second to get in here, I didn't even do this to look at what the range was overnight. I did nothing but look at where we were and react. And now looking at it, holy cow, we opened dead center and huge distance on both sides. So who knows?
You got lucky on your short
too. Well, I read what was there. I took it and I protected and I got out. So I don't know. I did what I was taught.
That's how a blink works,
Yep.
But resulting on that particular set, this is a volatile spot in CL. So I wouldn't assign too much to those results. But it was. I
wasn't. Yeah. I'm not looking at that going, best trade in the world. But, in that instant, I felt there was a, high probability of a quick short and I got it and I got the hell out of the way. So that was a scalp. No question. That was not a structural go to the overnight extreme, blah, blah, blah. That didn't play out and it could yet. But we got UB on both ends. So.
Yeah, this is something I've been meaning to mention in a live session. I just hadn't thought of it till you just said it again. I have seen this before over time. People get better at scalping because their instincts get better.
Of course. Scalping is all about that.
It's all about your instincts. Yeah. And you and learning when to listen to them and when not to play the monkey,
Yep. Yeah. When it's instinct and when it's monkey. Yeah.
Yeah. They have different voices, but they sound similar, right?
Yes. It's like history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would like
guys, I have a bad feeling we've opened the wrong Zoom link.
What?
I took the most recent one. I opened the room, but it was the next one.
I might be wrong. Hang on.
I think you're wrong. I'm looking. No, I'm in the right one, Lee. It's 6
I can't even find the chat.
Today.
There's the chat.
Somebody's struggling to get in. Let me just check. First,
Fredo's here. Amy's here. Yeah, we got a room full of people.
Oh, we got 18 people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody's. Let's see. I got a PM from someone as well.
I'm seeing messages as well.
Yeah, let me send somebody a link in the pit real quick. Find my link. Where is it? Bookings.
Start date.
Here's the link. Copy link.
Cool.
Meanwhile, the setup over in the index is really interesting. I'm waiting to hear Lee talk about it because we're 20 minutes to the open and we are up. RTY is up 2.4% and everything else is up 1% and change on really good volume. And this could really go either way. So I think it's very interesting setup.
So I just sent somebody a link.
I think Lance just commented that it disappeared from his calendar this morning. I think it disappears once we open it still, doesn't it?
It's technically when the meeting time has elapsed. As soon as it hits the meeting time, it goes poof. But that's going to be fixed.
We're changing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. we have our top programmers on it.
Yes, indeed. The software is designed for like
Hair
salons and that kind of thing. So it assumes that once your appointment has started, nobody should be able to book it. So
yeah.
Right.
It would seem like that's a toggle they could fix easily, but it's
you would
not
think, right?
No, we paid $1,250 to get that fixed.
To fix that toggle. So what WordPress templates like that are written in what?
PHP.
Oh, okay. All right.
Everything's PHP.
I was going to say crap.
Yeah. Well, synonymous, CRAPHP, something like that. What was that?
Our expert programmer member said personal homepage is what PHP
Yes, PHP, exactly.
Oh, dear.
Okay, where was I? What am I thinking here? So let me actually. So now that I have kind of my bearings, let me see here. So I did actually. This was my shiny new funded account, so I got $100 added to that today. So great. I'm pleased with that. That's a nice, quick, easy, daily, no frills result out of that. So, and then the other ones, of course, I was in Sim. I wasn't gonna risk anything because I expected something would go sideways with my attempt at building a copier, which is a whole lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But I've almost got it. I'm missing something here. I'm overlooking something simple and I'm not sure what. Actually, that might have been it. Was that it? Oops, wrong dome. There we go. Let's hide you. Oh, come back. You. Yes. Oh, that's in the way. Now, anybody got orders? No. What's going on? What am I missing? I really want this to work. See, it works in CL. I mean, in ES. If I go to ES and I throw on an order and I get this out of the way so you can see it. There we go. Whoop, there's my copies.
Maybe CL's too slippery.
Oop, they all go away. Yeah, that must be it. So, if I throw on an order here in ES.
Hey guys, just watching oil, just speaking of oil, we're right at the ledge here and there's a price rejector under us and UB above us. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm looking at ES. I'm watching the wrong one. Oh no, it's way down there. Never mind.
There we go.
What I just said applies to ES though. So there's a very interesting setup over there.
So I just got long in 5 accounts. And
in what?
In ES. I'm just testing. I'm not actually trading. But just to see that it does work, it works. It's working fine in ES, and see if I can get a tick. Actually, here a tick either direction. I don't really care. Just get me out. Oh, there we go. Hey, I got a tick. So I got a tick on all 5 accounts. But for some reason, I missed something when I quickly panicked and set it up for CL this morning. Seconds before I came running into the room.
I have a question for you too. I know these trade copiers are the big conversation in the evaluation space, and that the evaluators have said, go ahead and use them. We don't care.
Yep.
But the second people start cranking out, 10 accounts at a time in profit, they're going to shut that down.
Who's going to do that though? Given the space,
how are they going to do it? Is the question.
Well, how many people? How many people can even pass one of these evals, let alone?
Yeah, I know. I'm agreeing that there's going to be a sweet spot for some period of time here.
Oh, I see.
But ultimately, I think this door is going to get closed. That you guys are playing that. That's all.
Well, eventually, I agree with Lee. The whole space is going to blow up. It's just a never-ending race to the bottom that can't sustain.
Yeah, the interesting thing will be to see how many make the turn into next year. I've been kind of watching. It doesn't look like anybody's in serious trouble yet. I haven't heard, nobody's paying or whatever. But
now everyone's still blowing up.
The stats make it a decent business. The way you die in this business is your OPEX. It's not the business model. OPEX will kill you because it's race to the bottom.
Yeah, it's a commodity business. It's who can be the cheapest provider and market the best. Very interesting. There goes the ledge in oil, by the way, that I was watching. Even though it was not unfinished business, but it was a ledge. Now oil's back up to 3.2% up. This has been So just coming up from the 68.05 to up here, 25 ticks. I've been scalping oil, but I've been really careful. It's definitely scalpable, but got to really be respectful of these moves that it's putting in. They're pretty big.
Found the problem. Well, there you go. That would do it. Okay, let's fix that, shall we? Oops, wrong one. Master ES. I forgot to copy my entry formulas and from my master sheet. Copy formula. This.
So coming up in 15 minutes, we have Lee trading live.
Indeed.
Jeff, how do you trade oil differently than ES? Good question. I trade oil kind of like a blend between NQ and ES because it's thin liquidity, it moves a lot, and it's very momentum driven. When a ledge goes, it can go by 40 ticks. So I give it lots of room. I kind of treat it like NQ. I kind of let it come to me, but I'm also respectful that once it gets going, it's like NQ in the sense that it just rolls. And, the difference with ES is that ES will run into structural levels and, at least pause. It respects that. But because I think of the, true commodity nature of CL, and I see the same behavior in gold, structural levels are really useful, but it's not uncommon to see them just get run over, particularly when they're getting, when a ledge breaks or whatever, and then ultimately it resolves back to them. So scalping it, you have to be really selective on entries, kind of like you do in NQ, really kind of let it come to you. And then you really got to account for the momentum. So I give ledge breaks a lot more room. And I don't, when I see it's up 3%, I don't think, oh, wow, that's a big move already, because I know it, it was down 13 a couple of days ago. So it's just kind of a different scale. It's like, one of my mentors once described it as more elastic. And I don't think he meant in the economic sense. I think he meant in the rubber band sense. And I think that is also true. So hopefully that makes some sense. Yeah, high volume reversals, Amy just commented. There are some crazy high volume reversals in CL. We just had one actually down at the low, 67.60. And, look, we're 80 ticks above that. I mean, it's just, you really have to respect that. That's the key, Lance. You have to respect that kind of movement happens all the time. That's the big difference, I think.
All right. So I've got really nothing else to do for me in oil here, because one of the things that I've been working on for quite a while with my own trading, and I'm sure it's something I'll be working on forever, is having the discipline to get my setup and be done, even if technically the setup isn't complete yet, right? Because this is the A to overnight, which means the structural idea is that we're going to break one end or the other of the range in a period. And there's a pretty high statistical probability of that happening. The thing is, it doesn't have to happen. It doesn't always happen. It's a pretty decent probability, but it's not an absolute by any means, especially given that we opened absolutely smack dead center of the overnight range. So with UB on both sides, no less. So it was an absolute, who knows? For me, I got $100 on a trade, especially if my copier had actually been working, and hopefully eventually it will, multiply that out by the number of accounts that I'm going to be playing. I'm not going to push beyond that. I'm not going to keep sitting here and saying, oh, but I haven't gotten my setup's not done yet, so I need to keep trading for a whole half hour until that happens. No, because this very well might not break until B period, C period. Who knows? It might not break all day. We could have an inside day or whatever you call it. But it's something that I used to do a lot more, as I would chase. I'd sit here and I'd go, well, we're not done yet, so I got to keep playing. I'm a trader. Traders got to trade, and I would sit here and chase and chase and chase. And yeah, occasionally you'd have days where it would be a very one-directional move, like this is sort of looking like it might end up being. And you could catch a whole ton of it, and you'd have this great day, and you pat yourself on the back and say, wow, I've arrived. I've got it all figured out. I'm such a great trader. But other days you get just wrecked and sliced to death trying to just get more and more and more and more. And that greed monster comes out. There we go. 10 minutes to the next setup. And the greed monster is the thing that I have been working very hard at keeping contained, keeping caged. And it's related to the monkey. I feel like it's a little bit different. It's like, the monkeys.
It's an orangutan, not a monkey.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say a cousin, or the retarded brother, or to be completely politically incorrect. But it's
maybe it's the sloth. That's sort of
the sloth. Oh, there you go. Perfect. It's the sloth. The greed. Greed is the sloth. It just wants to lay there and have money just come flowing in. But it's easy to get caught up in that greed mentality, especially when you have a plausible justification, right? Your subconscious can go, well, no, I'm justified because look, we haven't gotten to there yet and we need to. And that's the trade. That's the setup. And my trade is still valid and I got to keep playing. And it's so easy to talk yourself into that. And I have done that countless times. And that's one of the big things in terms of recognizing the voice in my mind when it starts tricking me into doing stuff like that, because it's very convincing. Your nothing is more convincing than your own subconscious, and it will convince you of stuff like, oh, well, we got kind of a crappy high here, and oh, we got UB at the overnight high, and it's the ADA overnight setup, so we have to get there. So come on, you got to play. You can't let this go. You can't pass this up. And the fact is, I got a sweet scalp right out of the gate, barely even knowing what was going on. It was a complete blink. I just saw it, took it, got out, got the money. Done. I'm done. That's it for the period. If I wasn't sitting here talking to you guys and, working on my spreadsheet, whatever, and looking forward to Lee's next half hour, I'd get up and, go talk to my other half, go pet a cat, go, well, actually, no, that's okay. Honest truth. I'd be in the pit checking PMs and, go in the Facebook group. That's really what I would be doing first, which is kind of sad, but that's the way I am. But the bottom line is you got to get it under control, is just know when you've accomplished the goal for your setup, which is not the completion of the setup. That's what's so dangerous, is thinking that, my goal is not achieved until the setup is finished and done. And
can I make one observation, JVC?
Yeah, of course.
Not wanting to dive in on your a lot of time, but from what you were saying, you've said some really wise words there about, greed monkey and, keep pushing. Setup isn't over yet. And actually what we want to do is take a piece out of a high likelihood event.
A healthy bite.
Yeah, your scout was a blink. There were some clues there. Like you mentioned the UB on it. I think there's a price stretch at the top. Anyhow,
yep.
But something interesting to note, because CL is about 50% of the time a period will break the overnight high or low. So it's a majority, but it's not that statistically favorable. Let's think of it that way. It's not like 80%, 90%. We've got a decent chance of it happening, but we shouldn't bet the house on it.
Correct.
And like you said, we opened in the middle.
Yeah.
The thing is, today, of course, is inventories. So no surprise that we open in the middle and potentially go nowhere near the edge. So I would say, I would be inclined just to reorient a bit of what you said, which is the trade you took wasn't A2 overnight. The trade you took was, a blink during the open, but the premise of A2 overnight on inventory day, which is why you're in this slot, not me. And given where the trade location was, it wasn't really A2 overnight. You had a decent, blink.
Right. Valid point.
Momentum.
Yep. No, that's a valid point. And in fact, to that statistical thing, that's true. The statistics, if I recall, it's like 55% or something like that it's going to break in a period. But the thing that I have noticed, because I until Robert actually ran those stats, I didn't know what the actual number was. It felt really high to me. And I did some sort of back of the napkin spreadsheet approximation calculations, whatever. And it looked pretty good. It looked like, God, this seems to happen like most of the time, but I didn't have a number to it till Robert did the stats. And I was really surprised when it came in at like 54, 55%, something like that. It was just a little bit better than 50-50. And that really surprised me because it felt like it was so much more frequent. But what I have found over time is that it's pretty much there's a simple filter. Do we open in the middle or do we open really close to one side of the overnight? Like, wow, big shock, right? How surprising is that? Because if we open up here, then it's probably more like 85, 90% that we're going to go there. If we open down here, it's probably that to the other direction. But if we open anywhere in here, now we're in that 50% chunk. And so it's an easy filter. So I would absolutely, on a day like this, that's again part of the reason why I wasn't about to keep trying to push the like protect it at a tick and go all the way to down here. No way. No way. Not opening in the middle. You open in the middle.
Guys, just a heads up, we're 4 minutes out from the open here, so
we are.
Get ready for the transition to the British.
Yes,
the British
indeed.
Invasion.
So, yep, that pretty much is the point I wanted to make. It's just if oil's opening in the middle, don't expect an overnight in A period. Just get what you can get and be happy with it. So with that, I'm happy to hand off to Lee and see what you got for us today. This is what can be some LGBT in ES, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so. I'll just get my screen up and set some.
And you need to transfer the host.
What I'm doing.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you for reminding as we get used to this new approach.
Cool.
All right,
so
Sir Lee.
Up, I think.
It is, and you are the host with the most. Could you do me the honor of making me a co-host again, because it ditches me my co-host status when I make you the host?
Yeah, it does that to me too.
Yep. Oh yeah, Jeff's lost it too. He's lost it. I lost it when I gave it to you.
I lost it when I gave it to you, JVC.
Oh, you lost it decades ago. Don't worry.
Right. Okay. So I think my screen's up. I've got. I should have spotlight on there. Nope. Oh, my Zoom toolbars have frozen. You see my screen? And is my cursor moving? Hello?
Yes, on your screen.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Yes,
I was sitting here talking.
Moving. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Spotlight is back. Wow, Zoom is flaky for me at the moment. But anyhow, right. So this is my first. Thanks, CK. This is my first one of the sessions. What I'll be looking at today. I'll explain why I'm in Sim shortly. I'm going to only look at ES and A period to overnight. Then I'll likely go quiet. If it plays out, and then I will look at B to A on ES. I'm still getting some Zoom lag as well. I'm going to have to optimize this platform, I think, for tomorrow. But anyhow, I'm in Sim today, partly because I've also been doing some multi-account games on evaluations. I don't want to touch those accounts because they're all in a really good place. And I've got some mess going on personal account following a change in entity. And some banking grief trying to get funds into the broker, which is why I haven't got my Denali data up. So I'll just do this stuff in Sim. Normal service will be resumed, I think, next week. But I will still take these in Sim in a real, if I was trading these to pass a combine or make money in a combine or do this in my personal account, this is what I'd be doing. I'm not going to go and do stuff to go, here's an opportunity, here's an opportunity, here's an opportunity in play. I'm just going to look for the best possible trades as if I was passing a combine. Hence why it's in Sim. I probably won't be looking at chat that much either. We'll see how it goes. It might be 30 minutes of focus. It might be one and done in a minute and a half. Then we'll see what's going on. So the interesting things which I've noted ahead of the open, we have got UB at the overnight low. We've got UB at yesterday's low, which I was watching quite some interest, and some big absorption down there, 67.5. The bottom of overnight's reasonably well formed, but we've got UB at yesterday's RTH low. I watched this occur at 4,600. I think it's quite early this morning, early for me, and we've got UB at the high. So I'm really just going to be thinking about, the volume distributions we've got overnight. Look how we filled in this run of single prints through here, about 14 down to 4. Now off the top, so I'm kind of thinking it might play with the overnight high, but we'll see. We're out to open. You can see from my 30-minute candles here, we've just formed volume in this distribution from about 17.5 up to the high. We'll just take it steady, see what occurs. Okay, we've opened. So I just want to see if we get down to this 17-ish kind of area, it's an opportunity to get in. We triggered stops initially at 20, thinking we might go and play with the overnight high. Okay, some decent absorption there, 300, but I think it's going to plow through that. Someone's trying to hold it. It's going to pop, I think. 800. There we go, it's popped. So now I want to see what happens down towards the bottom of this distribution before I try a possible long. So I'm looking for things like a price rejector. Okay, now there's one. I will let it take me in if we pop up. So I'm entering the buy stop. But no, it's starting to build some volume. Oh, it filled me. Horrible. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, so we're heading down to this low volume area. We're still at the bottom of the range we formed overnight, but it looks like it is potentially going down much more. I'm watching for price rejects and stuff like that, but I'm not trusting it yet. Not enough absorption there at the bottom for my liking. See, we've got 3 volume distributions at the moment. Let's just get the others in scope. The top of the pullback has a price rejector 2. I think we're still exploring down. Let's just look at this on a TPO view as well. Oh, TPOs aren't opening. Come on. Platform is being a bit laggy. Zoom is killing this machine. So the overnight midpoint is at 5.5. There's big fat round number where there's some big positive delta on the way up. So yeah, maybe it's going to just whiz down to the overnight midpoint, all that big positive delta, the big fat round number, and then we might see a turnaround. Let's see. It's the overnight low is so far below us. I think if we are going to do overnight ledge during a period, the high at the moment must be more likely given where we've opened. We don't have a price rejector down here. One can do silly little fun things like that because it's not a price rejector. 45 versus 52 can nick a tick on the way down because we have to trade through that. There we go, got a tick. 45 versus 52 can do the same kind of thing again. I'm too slow on that. And I got my stop entry in the wrong place. It's still going to go there. Come on. Yeah, I misclicked. I wanted to get short at 11, and I got short at 10.75. But we're in no man's land down there, even though it's a price rejector. So I think that'll still be okay to get a tick out of it. Big positive delta there, 11.5. Come on. Big positive delta at 11.5. So the midpoint, look at that. The midpoint of overnight is just above the big fat round number. Okay, I got a couple of ticks out of that. So even though I've been playing there with scalping, just based on literally some pattern recognition, that wasn't a price rejector, so I can take advantage of it potentially forming. In terms of trying to get to the overnight ledge, which has a reasonable chance of during a period, I am looking for potential opportunities of how I can get long on ES. And I'm thinking that it was 5.5 actually was TPO POC. And the overnight midpoint is on big fat round number where I can see from the delta, we had a bit of a battle there. So if I was doing an open 5A kind of thing, I'd be, trying to trade short aggressively down to that and then see what happens. But I'm some aggression now and zero print. But I want to see what happens when we get down there and might we turn around, and can I kind of slingshot an A2 overnight? We've got UB at the low. Wow, sweepy. Again, even this UB, can start to take ticks out of that as we head back towards it. I'm not liking the sweepiness on this. I've got the whole morning to trade. I don't need to join in this, even though there's UB. Zoom is killing me on this scrolling lag. Okay, looks like the ledge is going to go, but I can't get a decent entry here. If I was going to protect myself at, say, 9.5, 10.5, I don't want to enter at 8. Nor do I just want to throw a limit in to get short for that. I can wait for better opportunities. Yeah, it's mouse lag on Zoom. It's crazy. Okay, so YM, now I can see some correlation. So YM's interesting. Will it lead us down? We're not brilliantly correlated in terms of where each index is relative to how it's opened. NQ is quite some way off its lows. We've seen this actually the past few days, haven't we? So I'm watching RCY and YM for clues of a turnaround. I'm interested to see what happens up here around 11.5 in ES. This kind of movement, where we're jumping 2-3 ticks at a time, doesn't really interest me right now. I don't want to be. I'm not that needy that I need to trade it now. Okay, looks like YM may be heading down. Okay, we're trading up at around that big positive delta. I want to see what happens if we get to sort of 13 area, top of this distribution. I'm watching the top of the pullback as well. Watching these other two indices to see if they possibly come down. We've got a price trajectory up there. I'm tempted. Yeah, I'll try it. Whoa, see, it moved down 346 as I was hovering over my market entry. But I'm much more comfortable going with the movement than just having a limit sitting there waiting to be filled. I don't want to protect this yet particularly because it is so sweepy. These other two are heading down. They should take me down with that money, yes. Okay, so RCY just broke the ledge. Come on, yes, let's go. I'm waiting for YM to break the ledge. I would add this position around 13 if we get up there. I was watching around 11, 11.5, the original entry. It was my market entry that got me in about a point off the game. But this early in the day, I don't really want to be, building this up right now. I like the idea, but I'm not going to back it at any cost. Okay, now I'm happy to protect it. Oh, look at that. It's so sweepy. Leaning on the deltas, I'll take 2 because I think if we get down here, we will head back to the round number. YM still has UB at the low, and Q is heading down. Just need everything to get aligned and actually get some movement going. I'm going to be wrong, certainly around 13, 13 and a half. Still a price trajectory up there at the top of this little volume distribution. We're pretty consistent with how we've been through the week in terms of how it's moving. Unpleasant is my grading of it. So we got up to the top of the distribution, still gave the price rejector, 7 contracts. So it's not so much giving it room. I've had some pretty crappy entries, frankly. But I'm comfortable seeing this still in my idea. RCY looks like it's drifting down. YM is pushing a bit. This is still not 8 overnight. This for me is scalping. Okay, I'm out. So we've built weight at the bottom down here. We have thin volume here. I'm watching 14 and a half now as the midpoint as it's creeping up. I'm not going to chase this long. I'm going to wait. Yeah. Still watching these other two just in case we get any signs of energy down. Now, at the top, we don't have a price rejector, 131 versus 162. That's interesting. So it could be interesting to use that as an exit. And you know what, I'm going to do something. I'm going to have 2 there. I can certainly get a tick out of it, yeah, on the way up. Question I'm asking myself is, how might things change? And could there be another long from somewhere further down to get back up there? But the fact that the top of it isn't giving me a price rejector tells me it's an interesting place to get out. But I'm still thinking we're going to go lower before we go higher. So I'm watching this for any signs that it might be turning around while I'm watching the other 2 indices. Okay, we've got to halfway, 14 and a half. It's given us a price rejector. Want to see what happens around this area. If we can get down with any strength, then I'm feeling comfortable taking short, but it's not giving me that. I think we might be heading up to the highs. Let's see. We've breached the midpoint. It's nothing to lean on comfortably. Okay, I'm going to try a long entry here because what's the word I'd want to use? The behavior has changed. Yeah, we keep forming price rejectors and breaking them. I'll take one off ahead of that big negative delta. Oh, What's going on? I think that's just teasing me still. Okay, we've got a price trajectory up there. But we breached the midpoint by 2 points. That's look, YM's popping up near to its high. Yep, near to the high. I think I'm going to be okay on this. I would even get one more on. If I can find the zero print there, I'm going to see if I can front run that for another entry. I don't know why that's 2. That should be 1. Oh, okay. Long 4. Get 1 off at the top of the pullback, which is UB. So 1 off ahead of this big negative delta. Going to get it slightly nearer. Okay. So I'm long 2. I don't need that stop entry. Long. Interesting, got a price rejector there. Let's, whoops, no, don't buy, wrong side. Let's protect that just in case. 1 will protect it with the zero print. Need to cancel that. Real push-pull so far. Looks like that zero print is going to fill in on the pullback. Okay. There's still that not a price rejector up there. I'll take advantage of that for a tick if we get back up there. Then if we do get back up there, if we break the high, question is, do we go to the overnight high? But yeah, there was nothing at the low giving us a clue that we turned around, and we've still got UB at the low. So this is awkward. The price rejector is tempting. RTY is heading back. Then let's try move. RTY breaking the ledge. Don't want to join in on the yes. Not so much with NQ up there. So we've seemed to have come down out of this little mini volume node. If we can stay in this area here, below 16, I think we might be on our way back down. RTY's had a push. Yeah, too slow. Let's lean on any of this positive delta. My platform's being slow, that sucks. Lean on the midpoint, try to get in. Okay, it's not even responding to clicks. Zoom is killing my machine. This is terrible. Okay, and we'll get out ahead of the UB somewhere. Oh, no. Yeah. So look, I'm sorry about this lag. I don't know what's going on. I didn't mean to be short 5. I'm fine on not using Zoom. This is bonkers. So I'm going to have to address this somehow. We will certainly get out ahead of the UB. Take 1 there. Oh, flipping out orders I'm even getting. Okay, I think if we get down there, we will play with the overnight midpoint. So 1 3/4 appeals to me. We'll get 1 off at 12.5, head that positive delta. We'll get another 1 off, head the these negative delta clusters towards the low of that distribution. Okay. So I want RTY, thank you. RTY to have a push. Let's protect that. And let's see what happens. Oh. We still haven't had the 8 overnight, which is what I've been looking for. Okay, YM is plummeting. So I need to see RTY and YM keep pushing down. On the dailies, so this is YM here, this area below 34,400. There's a couple of zero prints there which may stop it. This is going to get stopped out. I don't know why there's a sell limit there. Fine, it's going to get stopped out. Let's cancel those working orders. Still think we're going to break the low. Let's get this window back to where it should be. So we haven't touched the overnight ledge yet. We've got 7.5 minutes to go. So we're going to be in potentially for an interesting B to A. We haven't, I think it's unlikely now that we're going to break the overnight ledge during A period. And still thinking we're going to go down in order to go up. It's still hard to get short with something here in a good place. I know it's bouncing around, and the action's nice now. And the direction's clear, but I'm not going to chase this. I still want to take the things based on the structure of the session. It'd be nice to get this window back to where I want it. So I'm watching this area here again around 16, top of this volume distribution, got this little mini distribution above it for a couple of points, 17 to 19. If we can't get above here, it's an interesting short again. Let's try it. And I'm thinking, the reason for that short is top of this volume distribution. We've got UB down at the session low, and B to A potential. Yeah, I'm going close to that time. Protect that. The whole week, as soon as you protect a position, I've been getting my protective stops. Don't let it turn into a loser taken out very quickly, which I don't like. But, it's not a loss. So it's been quite a tough week to trade the big structural signs. Okay, that filled. I think we can probably get short again. Do it around the midpoint. And I will try. No, I don't need to have another one here. So what's going to be interesting in B periods is what's the tails like on the CPO. And the middle is going to give us our clue as to whether we have, if we open B period below the middle, we at that point will have more excess above us than below us, which would imply to me, downside for B to A. Protect this, it's going to get taken out like that. Lovely. Let's lean on the midpoint again. See if I can get a fill. It has to go about 4 points in your favor before you can protect it on days like this. It's a big positive delta just shifted down in the pullback. So the passives are passively selling at a lower point than where they were. Up at the edge of that distribution again. I think that is still teasing me up here. I will do one more there. I might be punished for it. The reason for my targets 263 is not showing exhaustion versus a 615. So I'm looking at that thinking it's a point where there was more selling one tick below. So actually that's a good point for me to get out if we get down there. And on the one near the midpoint of big fat round number, if we get there, I'm distracting myself by explaining this as we're up here. My rationale is 1.5 may well be looked at as an interesting number. So I want to get out ahead of that. However, that might be academic because if we open B period up here, I think we'll be going up. But everything else is hanging out. And it's RCY and YM have still not made much of an impact on their pullback. NQ is what is giving us this whole push-pull. I'm still comfortable with this idea. But I'm looking at where we are versus the midpoint, thinking, B period's coming up, thinking about the TPO tails. So I'm very prepared to get out of this quickly when B period opens if we don't have a strong push down. And I'll reconsider what's going on. You're so jumpy this morning. Not my favorite conditions. Cute, bouncing around like mad. Okay, so B period has opened. Yeah, we're going. We're breaking the high. Yep. That's slow there. This platform lag doesn't help. So, okay, we're going to be going up to the top. I'll do another one and look at that. Oops. Yeah, it's not getting our limits in. Flipping thing. And it is, but albeit slowly. Okay, I'll have to optimize this ahead of tomorrow because this is not easy to trade with or demonstrate. So more excess at the low. We broke the top of A. I think we'll be going to the overnight high now. I'll take one off just before the edge. It's not really a price rejector. 3 versus 3. We're close enough to the overnight high that I think we'll get up there. But we've still got UB at the low and we've got UB at yesterday's low. Maybe it's two-sided day. Wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, the YM's heading up to the overnight high. If Zoom will respect my scrolling requests. Yeah, we're going to the high. So today's A2 overnight was brought to you by B. You can go there. You're not going to move in time. That's going to fill. Come on. Just pause the top of that distribution. Okay, fine. So we've got the overnight high. That is what I wanted to happen half an hour ago. And just for fun, I'm thinking we might do one asymmetric short. We'll see. If it comes down, then he's straight. No, not yet. Too early. So other interesting stuff. Yesterday's RCHI, not a price rejector. Yeah, so that's an interesting place to have an exit. How we get to it, don't know. Let's try and get this window tidied up. Ugh. Don't know why Zoom is being such a bugger on this platform. Zoom killing computers since 2019. We don't have a price structure at the top. Still, there's still that big absorption. Oh, which is interesting. Nothing really at the bottom of the pool deck, though, telling us what's going on. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit flatten because the platform's not behaving in conjunction with Zoom, which is just too dangerous. Flatten and cancel everything. We got the overnight ledge break in B periods, not A periods. That was also kind of a B to A. It wasn't at the end I was expecting. I still think we are. What the hell is that doing there? I still think we are going to see the overnight midpoint. And there's potential for a two-sided day. But because this is so laggy, I'm going to stop. Oh, what on earth? I'm going to stop throwing trades in because, this is gone. I think JVC's been playing with my machine.
That's right. Blame me. Go ahead. It's okay.
What is going on? This is mad. It's picking up clicks all over the place. Fortunately, I'm in sim.
I've had weird issues this week as well, and it hadn't occurred to me that it could be Zoom until this
and even
session.
here,
I'm
you know,
realizing.
now. Hang on. Let's just flatten and cancel. Flatten and cancel. Yeah, I think there is something funky going on with Zoom. We'll have to look at this. Cancel that. So I'm going to stop the trading now. But what I will do, you know, if there's anything that comes up, if anyone wants to throw it into the chat, I'm happy to talk to it a little bit. So I kind of say burning desires, and you know, we'll go on for 5-10 minutes if there's anything to talk about. Otherwise, I think, you know, we'll call it a wrap, and I will. In the UK, I'd say WD-40. I don't know if you have that product in the US.
Oh yeah.
I think it's time to get some WD-40 on this Windows installation, or look at what Zoom is up to. Because this
Given
is
how
normal.
Given how electrically conductive that stuff is, I'm thinking computer, WD-40, probably not the best
Maybe
idea.
not. Yeah. WD-40. Okay, so it's a global thing. Oh, wouldn't that be a great fantasy plate? WD-40.
I'd be willing to bet you it's taken.
Yeah, and they probably
or not
have it.
allowed.
Yeah.
Copyright violation, trademark violation, whatever.
Oh, I'm even going to just try a quick task manager on this and restart it, see if it's any better. Just this response, it makes it impossible to show stuff meaningfully. So
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
that was fortunate, but you know, I was scalping through the open. But if this was, I need, you know, my mouse is in the taskbar and I've got right clicks coming up from somewhere there. Something is not right. So I will deal with this platform that is messing about a little bit later today. If anyone has any questions from that stuff, throw them in the chat. You know what? I'm going to restart this virtual machine, so the share might go blank, but it might enable us to do something. I'm not going to lose the chat if anyone wants to raise anything. Going long? No, not intentionally, Lance. This platform's trying to, but I'm not wanting to. I'm having a severe dose of the gremlins here, which is not nice. You know what? It's the whole flipping machine. So we'll just stick to my voice rather than anything else. So I'll say Burning Desire is going twice. If not, what we'll do tomorrow, I will be doing the full 90-minute session. So we will start with CL at 2 p.m. UK. 2 p.m. I'll open the room a little bit earlier.
6 a.m. Pacific.
Thank you. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern is the only way I can relate to it. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Pacific. We'll look at CL8 overnight, like JVC did this morning. Oh, look, UB, hi. Then we'll either do B2A in CL, or we will do 8 overnight in ES. All depends on how CL's behaving, how the equity's open, and then we'll do B2A in ES. So we'll do the same thing again, hopefully with a more responsive platform tomorrow. Yeah, I can't even respond to task manager. So I think, look, the technology is giving me a sign to say kill it. So we'll end it there. We saw a few things, saw some scalping. Hopefully the stream of consciousness was useful. I was looking very much at the volume profile bulges, the rugby balls, as some people would say, and looking at the bulges as extreme of the immediate range combined with a bit of a bias based upon the volume at price. within the session and combining that with the correlation of what the other indices are doing. At the highest level, that's what I'm looking at. We'll do the same thing tomorrow. So hopefully I will see you all there then.
If there are any questions on anything that happened today or the rest of the week after you've had a chance to watch the recordings, save them for Tuesday Q&A and bring them.
Indeed. Okay, thanks guys. Bye for now.